So Hare Krishna everyone, then Pranam Jai Prabhupada. So I would just like to give a small context behind this article which I made. So there was this mechanical event in our college, and there were about 800 to 900 mechanical engineering students attending it. A lot of different PhDs or so-called scientists from various top international universities from all around the world, namely from England, Russia, Europe, etc., were present. And it was a 6 hour plus event. So I was really frustrated because the points they were discussing were so illogical and quite frankly delusional. So instead of just wasting my time there, I wanted to find a couple of quotes from Prabhupada as well as from our senior devotees, especially Tattva Prabhu's lecture, as well as Srila Prabhupada's lecture on this particular topic, overpopulation, which I have linked at the end of the article. So that is the basic context. And you can just see the first stanza where I said that there were many PhD holders, and the topic they were talking about was sustainable development and the various extinction risks for many natural resources like petrol and gasoline as well as other resources. But the major point which they missed is that they're trying to create an artificial society which depends on such artificial means of livelihood just to get a little bit of convenience. And even if we give them the point, right, you want petrol, you want various types of natural gas reserves, etc., and even if they want various other herbs, etc., for great agricultural farming, they should know the fact that Krishna, being the Supreme Lord, has everyone working under him. So this very important point is that Bhudevi, if anyone has gone to the Sri Vaishnav temples, we'll see that Bhudevi is always a great consort of Narayana. So that means that the earth reciprocates as per Krishna's order. This subtle science or spiritual science they do not know. So every single kind of mechanical things that they're trying to prove, or mechanically what they're trying to do, is simply Ugra karma, or work that takes way too much time and which simply wastes the human potential, where the human life is meant for attaining the love of Godhead and going back home, back to Godhead, the spiritual world. So the main point which I want to focus in this short article is the fact that Maya Dakshena Prakriti. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that this material nature works under whose order? Krishna's order. And Bhudevi is nothing but a consort or a representative of Krishna. So how can we expect that there'll be so much cow killing, so much illicit sex, so much atheism that is going on out of these so-called foolish scientists? And then how can we expect that Krishna will reciprocate them in very favorable terms and conditions? So this is the basic context. Now I will go to the first quote by Srila Prabhupada. It was a lecture on Bhagavad Gita in 1973. This theory that overpopulation is nonsense, it is also nonsense. There cannot be overpopulation, but there is restriction by nature. Nature will restrict production of food if there are demons. Nature will not provide the demons. So here you can see that Prabhupada says there is not any sort of overpopulation. Indeed, it is just a scam proposed by the so-called industrialists to make us, subservient to their various capitalistic agendas to further their financial motives and so on. But actually, Prabhupada, in many of his books and lectures as well as letters, says that the earth can handle 10 times or 20 times more population, provided that everyone is Krishna conscious, God conscious, and everyone subsists on what is daily required and not simply stock. Because the stocking tendency is a Shudra based tendency, because the Shudras, they do not have brains to decide what to do, what not to do. So they do not only take what is required, but then they stock for 10, 20, 30 years to come, when they do not even know that they won't even live for the next day or day after that. So the second point that I would like to make is almost same context, but slightly different. So yes, if we are sincere, no Prabhu, can you go up? Yes, stop. Yes, Prabhu. If we are sincere, Krishna will supply us with all necessities of life. When we serve some mundane master, he gives us sufficient salary. So when we serve the Supreme Master, how is it possible that he will keep us fasting? So one thing to note is that this letter was sent to a devotee. So you can see Yamuna Mataji, and it was sent in 1969 in the early stages of ISKCON. So one very important thing to note here is that many of us serve mundane masters. For example, my father serves his boss serves his boss, and Elon Musk has, he has to also serve somebody for sure. And similarly, all those under him has to serve him. So by surrendering ourselves or working so hard for a mundane master, if we are able to subsist quite decently, then it is simply illogical to say that Krishna, who is the supreme proprietor of all things, aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartate. So Krishna says, I'm the creator of both the material as well as spiritual worlds. So he's the greatest of master and he's the supreme proprietor. So if we surrender unto him, automatically he will provide all things that are needed for existence. So it is simply illogical to say that, if you surrender to God, who's the supreme or the supermost person, full with all opulences, he will not provide for us if we are obedient to him. So many atheists question, they ask, how do you know there is God? Well, I will address those statements at the end of this article. And I've also linked a very nice video, which I request all devotees to humbly watch. So I quote it. So the Bhagavad Gita 9:10, the material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, and it is producing all moving and unmoving beings. limits, right? So after that, in another quote by Srila Prabhupada, so Prabhupada says that I was discussing this evening, there is so much land still uncultivated. And if the overpopulated, so-called overpopulated people are allowed to go there and cultivate and grow their food grains, 10 times of the living entities on this face of the globe can be fed without any difficulty. So here Prabhupada also takes the stance of speaking from a material view as well. So previous points were purely on a spiritual view, where if we satisfy the Lord, then everything is met. But now, even from the materialistic point of view, we must understand that this society is nothing but a relationship between the cheater and the cheated. So now, just by a brief explanation on this, everywhere you go, especially if many people have gone to various areas. For example, I will give you, even in the United Arab Emirates, there are so many lands, so much land that now the government started taking incentive, and on a soil that is incapable of producing any food grains, they're trying to cultivate. What to speak of India or the United States and Europe, where the soil fertility and as well as the amount of natural resources which fund the growth of various crops are so high. So this point is that all of these so-called natural resources are not even being properly utilized and efficiently cultivated for feeding the public. So what these capitalists and so-called materialists are doing is that, first of all, they blind us from spiritual knowledge, and even materially, they try to make us simply a slave by giving us some money and telling our mouths to keep shut. So even materially, to speak, there is so much land that's uncultivated. And what are they doing with all of that? Simply wasting it and not doing anything. So even from a materialistic perspective, Prabhupada in his lecture says that it is simply a bogus system, illogical and bogus system, that so-called overpopulation is there. Yes, so in the two brackets which I've written, those are my words based on my small realizations. So yes, I was just trying to say that the governments not only cheat people to perform sinful activities, so spiritually they're killing them, but also the people also lack intelligence to try and question the government. So that is why the spiritual need of the people must be met, because not everyone can be on the Shudra platform or be forced to be kept on the Shudra platform. And that is why this Bhagavad Gita and chanting of Hare Krishna, association with devotees, makes people really intelligent. Otherwise, they'll just be doing this Ugra karma and they'll be getting a small pay. Just like a donkey, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says gadha, meaning the donkey, right? So he'll just be going behind the food, but then he won't understand that he will never get it. So that is what's happening. So now I will address the point which, when I was compiling this article, I was trying to think from the atheistic point of view. So the first 2 or 3 quotes, they are reference to the, mainly atheists, right? Prabhupada quotes demons, and Prabhupada also says how Bhudevi will not reciprocate if you're a 4th class, 5th class rascal. So now many atheists might question, how do you know there is God? Or especially in this context with material nature, how do we know there is God? So there was a very nice explanation given by Tattvit Prabhu in his recent class, I think 10.8. So Prabhu was saying that, first of all, even from the atheistic perspective, we can question them on a scientific or a philosophical basis. So we can see very clearly that there is perfect law and order going on in society, or according to the natural laws. So for example, if a baby jumps from the 3rd floor, and if I jump from the 3rd floor, both of us are going to die. Similarly, if I touch my fire and the baby also touches fire, both of us are going to get burned, irrespective, because material nature doesn't care if you're ignorant or not. So we must question that this so-called point of chance, which they say, refers to 2 things. Number 1, they're definitely not very sound clinically. Number 2, chance in the English dictionary means randomness. So what is randomness? Randomness means that there is an irregular probability that is going on. For example, all humans we see have 2 hands, 2 legs, and even if they're disabled under the certain types and conditions that is medically provided for them. Similarly, the dog has 4 legs and he looks the same no matter what. However, this chance variations, which is proposed by Darwin and all of these modern PhDs, which suggest randomness, is supposed to mean that I can have a half dog, half man body, or I can have a half dog, half dolphin body, or a dog can be a half dog, half tiger, because chance means randomness, and randomness means there is no absolute law and order. It is just random. Anything can happen at any time, and we cannot say anything. Second point is that order. So what is order? For example, if I commit a crime, police comes and arrests me, that is order. Laws are there, and the lawmaker is God, because we can clearly see from material examples that the sun rises on the right time, sets on the right time. Gravitational force is constant all over the earth, no matter what. Wherever you go, it's the same. Similarly, a hydrostatic force, Bernoulli principle, all of them are also the same. Second point is order. For example, a society might have a lot of proper law, but if there's no one policing or no one is trying to maintain the order, then it's simply a chaotic society, or a society with no proper functioning government. However, here we see that everything is enforced to the absolute limit, meaning that we cannot escape death. Nor can anyone escape old age, especially on a material platform, not on a spiritual platform. nor can anyone, escape birth. And so we see that these constraints are always there irrespective of time. And it is always being forced upon me. So this is called order. So this is just a small introduction I would like to give. But for more detailed introduction on this topic, I would like to link this particular lecture by Srila Prabhupada, where Prabhupada completely, even in a very logical way, completely demolishes the system. Yeah, that's about it for my small article. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Very well. Nice article presented, Prabhu. The same thing, a similar thing we can find in Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto. When the King Vena was ruling there was a lot of drought and a lot of problems around the world. The Mother Earth stopped producing grains. So after that, King Vena was killed by the sages. He was cursed and killed. And then Prithu Maharaj was created from his body, from Vena's body. So we can go to Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 18th chapter, verse number 6. It is spoken by Mother Earth.
My dear king,
I'm reading
the seeds, roots, herbs, grains, which were created by Lord Brahma in the past, are now being used by non-devotees who are devoid of all spiritual understanding.
So when this condition happens, then Mother Earth stop producing. Everything in the world is created for the devotees, for us, so that we can peacefully use in Krishna's service. Sometimes people ask question, what if everybody become devotee? So this will happen. Mother Earth will become very happy, and then she will produce grains, rain and water, everything surplus. See, now the Bangalore, shortage of water. Bangalore is known for always raining, it always rains. Every day it rains. When I was a small boy, I used to go to Bangalore. It's like going to some hill station, such a nice place, beautiful place. Now, my brother was saying, just now I was talking to the brother, he said that for the past 1 year, there is no rain, not even a single drop of rain in Bangalore. So why this happens? Because people forgot their occupational duties. Even we also can see one chapter before how the people look like. 417.6, 417.9.
The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, at the time King Prithu was enthroned by the great sages and brahmanas and declared to be the protector of the citizens, there was a scarcity of food and grains. The citizens naturally became skinny due to starvation, therefore they came before the king and informed him of their real situation.
So the scarcity of grains happens due to lack of Krishna consciousness. It's not happening due to overpopulation. If you see Krishna's time, there was some few lakhs of acharyas. Few 100,000 acharyas were there. Only acharyas alone, So if acharyas alone were few 100,000, how many students were there? How many family was there? So that is only Dwaraka, What to speak of other part of the world? So where is overpopulation there? When I was a small boy, every village used to be full. Now all the villages are going to the city. Village is getting empty. So as Karthi Prabhu was rightly saying, they think that overpopulation means the population that they are not able to provide the modern amenities. If they cannot provide the modern amenities, then it is overpopulation. See, our Modi thinks that we have to give a cylinder for every citizen, house for every citizen. That is not right. So when I was going to school, there used to be advertisement coming in the TV saying that by cooking in the firewood, we get carbon monoxide and people get cancer because of that. So switch to cylinder. That was advertisement we got. Now the number of cancer it is more in India. People are getting more cancer now. Very few people got cancer because of this carbon monoxide stuff. But people are dying because of people are suffering more. Now. So as Karthi was saying, the overpopulation is just actually a foolishness. So people should produce more children so that there is no illicit sex. Otherwise, they get married and then, use some contraceptive things and then produce child and then do abortion. Stop producing child and do abortion. Then what do you expect from Mother Earth? What do you expect from Durga Devi? She will get furious, And this is the result that we are seeing today. Even Madhav Prabhu was saying that in Germany also, there are a lot of poor people are there. People are starving. Many people, they homeless. Everything is there also. So we have to understand, Finland also. Everywhere. US, America also. Everywhere. So now the thing is that they are unnecessarily increasing the necessities of the modern lives. And those who cannot afford that, then they are called as poor. So in those days, if you have a land, you are rich, you can be self-sufficient and live comfortably. So now you need to learn AI. Learn how to use AI. Otherwise, you cannot enjoy the modern facilities. Anyway, so
nice Hare Krishna, bro. So I want to ask something, bro.
Okay.
So, bro, like any kind of nowadays this volcanic eruption or any kind of this tsunami or big pandemic is going on due to all atheism is going on the world. That's why.
Yes, these are all, Mother Earth is very upset.
Yeah, but these people, these scientists, they think that they can solve everything, and they think that there is no God created this universe.
Yeah, because you see, there is in the same chapter, I've read that long back. Now I cannot take it. They said that Mother Earth hides all the grains, hides. When non-devotees are raising, it'll hide all the herbs and all the plants and trees, everything she hides inside. And then she will release it when the devotees are coming to power. They are in the name of creating metros and roads and trains. They are simply destroying all the trees. Even 1 week before, our neighbor land, all the trees got destroyed. It used to be like a nice, good forest. Now it looks like a desert. Simply they are destroying it. Simply destroying it. Because in Vedic values, like we used to see everything as living beings. That's why, we were respecting the trees and plants and everything. But as modern scientists, they just want everything to be themselves. What else we can expect from them?
Yes, yes, bro. That is
Nothing but
right.
chaos.
Yes.
Nothing but chaos.
And bro, like in modern science, whatever the invention or whatever they are doing, they are so big research. That is only for like gratifying their senses more and more, right? It is like some demoniac atheistic kind of, which is totally opposite of our Vedic civilization.
Yes.
Which is basically try to connect who we really are and what is our relation with God and how can we revive that. So it's like totally opposite kind of society we are now living.
Correct, but see, like they will get stuck somewhere. Then they will ask for help very soon. When they cannot proceed, they will come and ask our support. Can you help us on this matter? And that time we'll help them. Until then, we cannot do anything. Until then, we carry on with our temples and preachings and Varnashram projects. We'll carry on with our thing. When the society gets stuck, they have to come to us. That time the Sadguru all cannot help.